Welcome to the Azerothian Embassy. Fitz, smile. We have guests. Never mind this prickly old fool.
Not a chance.
He's been like
Think
this
again,
ever since... well, that's a whole story in and of itself. Let's see then. Yes, come. Take a seat by the fire. Let me tell you about the Bronze Dragonflight. The Bronze began in very much the same way as the other flights. After aiding the Keepers in their fight against a ginormous cannibalistic beast named Galacrond, 5 of the many flights showed themselves to have great promise and potential. The Titan Keeper Tyr saw this and convinced the others that by giving these proto-dragons a small amount of power, they would serve as the perfect guardians for Azeroth. One of these dragons was Nozdormu, who bore the shimmering scales of bronze and amber. Aman'Thul, the High Father of the Pantheon, was the one to bestow his cosmic power unto him. He charged him with guarding time itself. The stoic and reserved leader now earned himself the nickname the Timeless One. He would be an eternal guardian over the endless pathways of time and fate. Much time had passed, and the Age of Dragons saw the race of dragonkind reach its peak. That is, until the Night Elves, under the rule of Queen Azshara, caused the demonic Burning Legion to invade Azeroth. The Bronze Flight, along with their counterparts, joined the great fight to repel the invaders, and Neltharion, leader of the Black Dragonflight, had a plan. The Black Flight would have each of the dragon leaders pour a portion of their power into a device he called the Dragonsoul. This could be used to repel the demons once and for all, and so it was agreed to pursue this course. However, Nozdormu was nowhere to be found, even by his own kin. And so, in his absence, his prime mate Soridormi agreed, and retrieved an hourglass holding a portion of the Bronze Flight's power. The device was created and unleashed upon the endless demonic army to devastating effect, until Neltharion, in an act of great betrayal, also used the device against the mortal defenders and the other flights. They were powerless against it, and the battle that ensued made sure no dragonflight would be able to assist in the war any further. The mortal races barely secured victory against the Legion, but the war against the Black Dragonflight had only just begun. The near-ceaseless battles decimated dragon population, and the Bronze Flight were no exception. Never again have any of the flights truly recovered. Nozdormu returned, and with the aid of Alexstrasza and Ysera, the leaders of Red and Green respectively, enchanted the Dragonsoul so that no dragon could wield the foul device ever again. In the aftermath, Nozdormu visited what was left of the Night Elves. Here, Alexstrasza had planted an enormous tree over the second Well of Eternity. The Night Elves would make this their home, and Nozdormu gave to them a gift. He would bless the tree, granting them immortality. For as long as the tree stood, they would not age, nor fall prey to any sickness. The Bronze Dragons returned to their home within the caverns of time, so they could pursue their guardianship over the infinite pathways uninterrupted. That is, until some time later the Night Elves would come to ask for aid once again. This time it was for aid in the Qiraji War, a war against giant insectoid creatures that served the old gods, hell-bent on the destruction of all life. Initially, the Bronze Flight refused, until the war spilled over into their caverns and they were forced to act. It became clear quite quickly that the combined might of the Bronze Dragonflight and the Night Elves would not be enough to stop the endless horde of Qiraji. It was Anachronos, the heir of Nosdormu, who sought the aid of the other flights. Together, they pressed their new advantage and managed to seal the threat away in the ruins of Ankiraj. Luckily, this fighting only saw small losses, with the exception of Grakarond, one of the largest bronze worms ever to grace the skies. He was felled by a clever Anubisath, and his bones became the site of great importance to the Qiraji. It showed them that an enemy of any size may be defeated. The key to the ruins, now named the Scepter of Shifting Sands, was split into 3 parts and sent to the different flights for safekeeping. The records for the bronze are hazy here. They fall silent for some time until shortly before the Second War. Neltharion once again set his sights on the Dragonsoul, now named more aptly as the Demon Soul. It was used to force the Red Flight into submission, and once again the Bronze were called upon for aid. Nosdormu this time would initially refuse, content to let the events play out. It was Ysera that eventually swayed his decision. A great battle of grim battle had begun. The Bronze joined the green and blue flights as they assaulted Neltharion's brood in the skies, and a human mage battled the orc warlocks that had made themselves allies of the Black Flight. The warlock leader Necros was eventually felled, and the demon soul shattered. This released the portioned power back into the Dragonflights. Now whole, they overwhelmed the enemy forces. With their full power restored, it is rumoured that in order to keep a watchful eye on the mortal races, the Bronze Flight had infiltrated them. The Bronze, after being reclusive for so long, were now seen in the skies once more, as they returned to their duties. Even after all we have learned so far, the greatest threat to the Bronze Flight is yet to be told. Nosdormu once again mysteriously goes missing. However, this time he manages to send a faint message through time. The message, in the form of a vision, was received by the Red Prime Consort, and during his investigations, himself, a human and an orc were thrown 10,000 years into the past. The Prime aspect was being held against his will by a violent time anomaly. He managed to summon multiple versions of himself from different timelines to fight back. The old gods had created this anomaly in order to further their destructive goals, and it was revealed that they were also the ones that had corrupted the Black Dragonflight and turned Neltharion, now known as Deathwing, against his own kind. The Bronze, with the assistance of the Time Travelers, eventually won, and the timeline restored. Or so we are told. We have talked so much about the Bronze Flight, their triumphs, their losses, but we have yet to mention the Infinite Flight, and how the two are forever intrinsically linked. It is said that at some point in the future, Nosdormu and many of the Bronze will be swayed by the old gods. His name will change to Murazond, his scales will turn to ash. He will live outside of time, travelling through the endless echoes, ensuring the hour of twilight is the only future that comes to pass. Well, so the stories say. Whether you believe all is fated, or our destiny is our own to make, that's up to you. Just don't get into this debate with a dragon. Especially a bronze one. Trust me. Stoic and eternally resolved to their cause are bronze protectors, but a little cold for my liking. Well, look at the time. It's always so nice to have visitors. Stop by any time. Maybe next time we can hear about when the old gods win. Those are my favourites. No? How about a like and a subscribe instead? Oh, and don't forget the bell. Well, whatever that means.